Act 3 of Esther by Jean Racine, translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3. Scene, Esther's garden and one side of a pavilion where a banquet is being held. Scene 1. Haman, Zeresh.
This, then, is Esther's garden, gay with flowers, and this the tent spread for the royal feast. But while its door is little fast shut, do thou list to the counsel of a wife who fears thy rashness? By the sacred bond between us, conceal, my lord, this wrath that blinds thy judgment, clear from thy brow that frown of discontent, reproaches and complaints no king can bear. Of all the court thou only be the queen art bidden, then enjoy this happiness. Against the ill that galls thee weigh the good. Have I not heard thee say 100 times, the man too proud to swallow an affront, or wear a mask upon his countenance, should ne'er set foot within the courts of kings? There are mishaps a wise man must endure. Oft has an insult borne without resentment served as a stepping stone to highest honours.
O grief! O torture insupportable! O shame that never can be blotted out! Accursed Jew, humanity's disgrace, has by my hands in purple been arrayed. Not only did he triumph over me, I was myself his herald and proclaimed his glory, while he mocked at my confusion. And all the people, too, saw with derision my crimson countenance, and drew therefrom sure sign and presage of my coming fall. Such sports as these delight thee, cruel king. On me thou hast deceitful favors lavished, only to make me feel thy tyranny the more, and crush me with the greater shame.
Judge not the king so ill. His only motive is to reward a good and loyal service. Must it not rather be matter for wonder that payment should have been postponed so long? Besides, it was thine own advice he followed. Thou didst thyself dictate this sorry pageant. Thy rank is only second to his own. Knows he thy detestation of this Jew?
He knows that all he has he owes to me, that I have trodden underfoot for him remorse and fear and shame, with heart of brass advanced his power, reduced the laws to silence, and midst the groans of innocence have sought and cherished for his sake curses and hatred. And for reward I find myself exposed by his barbarity to jeers and laughter.
We are alone. Why should we gloze the truth? This seal on his behalf, that sacrificed so much to make him great, between ourselves, was not thine own promotion its sole end? To go no farther than these wretched Jews? Dost thou not offer them in sacrifice to thine own spleen? Hast thou no cause to fear malicious whispers? All at court are foes. The people hate us. Ay, this very Jew, laden with honours, moves my dread in spite of mine own self. Ills are oft linked together. His race was always fatal to thine own. Learn how to profit by this light affront. Fortune makes ready, it may be, to quit thee. Her fickle wheel lifts up but to cast down. Forestall her humour ere her hand grows weary. What lure attracts thee higher? Gulfs abysmal that open out before me make me shudder. If thou shouldest slip, frightful would be thy fall. Seek somewhere else a calmer destiny. Back to that distant Hellespont return, the refuge of thy wandering sires of yore, when Israel's vengeance, kindled a fierce fire, drove out all Amalek from wasted Seir. Ere it be too late, hide thee from fortune's spite. Our richest treasures shall be sent before us. Leave me to manage the departure hence, and, above all, secure our children's flight. Meanwhile, be only careful to conceal thy purpose. Gladly will I follow thee, as thou shalt see. The stormiest winds and waves are safer far than this deceitful court. But I see someone walking quickly towards thee. It is Hydaspes.
Scene 2. Haman, Zeresh, Hydaspes. Hydaspes to Haman.
I am come to fetch thee. Whilst thou art absent, joy is in abeyance. The king has sent me for thee. Linger not.
Tell me, is Mordecai among the guests?
Take not that face of gloom to Esther's table. Why should this Jew for ever blast thy peace? Let him enjoy a triumph of no moment. He cannot think thus to escape the rigour of the king's sentence. Dost thou not possess his ear and heart? The punishment of crime will follow zeal rewarded, and thy victim is decked for sacrifice. I'm much mistaken, or thou shalt reap, supported by the queen, success beyond thy hopes.
Can I believe these happy tidings?
I have heard the answer of the diviners, that a foreign traitor in the queen's blood seeks to imbrue his hand, and, knowing not where else to fix the guilt, the king imputes it to the Jews alone.
Aye, they are monsters. He has cause to dread their daring leader most of all, my friend. Earth has endured the loathsome race too long. The sooner she is rid of them, the better. Ah, I can breathe at last. Farewell, dear Zeresh.
Esther's companions are advancing near us, with songs no doubt to celebrate the feast. Enter, and be assured of ready welcome.
Scene 3. Elizabeth, the chorus.
'Tis Haman.
Yes, 'tis he. I know him well, and tremble.
Fear and horror round me press.
'Tis the proud enemy of Israel.
Aye, he who troubles all the earth no less.
Who, seeing, cannot recognize that face? Pride and disdain each feature plainly shows.
His eye with rage and wildest fury glows.
Before him death seems constantly to pace.
Does this fell tiger know his destined prey? For when he cast on us his hungry eyes, a fierce delight therein appeared to play, whereat I still feel fear and horror rise.
How this new honor will increase his pride? To Esther's board he hastes with willing feet. I see him, sisters, boldly take his seat, as though it were his right, at the king's side.
Tell me, attendants at the feast, what fare, what wine for cruel Haman ye prepare?
The orphan's blood.
The tears of the oppressed.
Such are the dainties that delight him best.
No other drink he finds so rich and rare.
Dear sisters, let your grief be hushed awhile. They bid us sing. Oh, may our songs have skill, the king from his harsh temper to beguile, as David erst Saul's jealous rage could still, and with sweet strains divert his savage will.
All the rest of this scene is sung.
What happiness those subjects find, whose king magnanimous and kind, dreaded by others, to their love doth cling. Oh, happy such a people, such a king!
Oh, sweet and calm repose! What a firm pledge it is of joy and peace, when a wise monarch knows how to make truth and righteousness increase, and prudent counsel shows.
Ye kings, drive calumny away, her slanderous assaults can mar states that at peace and quiet are, to discord harmony betray.
Ye kings, drive calumny away, her slanderous assaults can mar states that at peace and quiet are, to discord harmony betray.
Thirsting for blood she madly tracks, the pure and blameless everywhere. Kings of her murderous tongue beware, that slays the good behind their backs.
Thirsting for blood she madly tracks,
the pure and blameless everywhere.
Kings of her murderous tongue beware, that slays the good behind their backs.
This monster ere her prey she grips, oft times a mask of mildness wears. Fear her, for in her heart she bears revenge with piety on her lips.
This monster ere her prey she grips, oft times a mask of mildness wears. Fear her, for in her heart she bears
revenge with piety on her lips. Subtle and dexterous deceit strews all her paths with blossoms gay, but in her rear along the way comes vain regret with tardy feet.
Subtle and dexterous deceit strews all her paths with blossoms gay, but in her rear along the way comes vain regret with tardy feet.
As thunder clouds before the north wind fly, and threatening tempests vanish from the sky, so treacherous imposture cannot brook an upright monarch's lie-dispelling look.
A king with conquest crowned we praise, whose valor wins victorious bays, but one who hates injustice and is wise, who suffers not the poor to feel the pressure of the rich man's heel, as heaven's fairest gift we well may prize.
The widow trusts him, and well armed is she.
A father to the fatherless is he.
The just man's tears, appealing to his might, are precious in his sight. Turn thine ears, great king, away from cruel counsels by deception bred. The time is come, awake today, ere guiltless blood thine hand unwitting shed, while slumbers on thine eyelids weigh. Turn thine ears, great king, away from cruel counsels by deception bred.
So may the whole world tremble neath thine arm, so may thy valor far renowned avail, to strike thy foes ever with fresh alarm. If they attack thee, may they quickly fail. Let them be routed by thy strong right hand, the terror of thy name their troops disband. May their vast host like feeble infants yield, when they the onset of thy soldiers meet. If by one line of march they take the field, may thousands be too few for their retreat.
Scene 4. Ahasuerus, Esther, Haman, Elizabeth, the chorus. Ahasuerus to Esther.
Ah, yes, thy slightest words have secret charms. A graceful modesty on every act bestows a value above gold and purple. What happy clime concealed so rare a treasure? Who was the virtuous mother at whose breast thine infancy was nursed, whose wise hand trained thy childhood? Tell me quickly thy request. Whatever thou desirest shall be granted. E'en shouldst thou ask, dear Esther, half my kingdom. So have I said, and gladly say again.
No such exorbitant desire is mine. But since I must at last explain my sighs, seeing my king himself will have me speak.
She casts herself at the king's feet.
I venture to beseech thee for my life, and for the lives of all that hapless race, which thou hast doomed to be destroyed with me.
Ahasuerus lifting her up.
Destroyed with thee? What mystery is this?
Haman aside.
I tremble.
Esther's father was a Jew. Thou knowest, sire, thy pitiless decree.
Haman aside.
Gods!
Oh, how deeply dost thou pierce my heart! The daughter of a Jew? My best beloved, my Esther, innocence and gentleness itself, whom I esteemed heaven's choicest gift, can she have sprung from origin so vile? Wretched am I!
Thou mayest reject my prayer, but I would claim at least as a last boon that thou shouldst hear my story to the end, nor suffer Haman's voice to interrupt.
Speak.
O my God, confound shameless imposture! These Jews of whom thou wouldst rid the world, whom thou dost deem the refuse of mankind, were once possessors of a wealthy land, and, while they still adored their father's God, found that his blessing brought prosperity. This God, sole master of the earth and skies, cannot be represented to the sight by any form. Jehovah is his name, the world's creator. When the meek are wronged, he hears their sighs, judges with equal laws all mortals, yea, examines kings themselves from his high throne. He but withdraws his hand, and strongest states fall with a startling crash. The Jews presumed to worship other gods. King, people, all were scattered in a day, and Babylon's yoke of slavery was made the just reward of their ingratitude. But to requite our masters in their turn, the Lord chose Cyrus ere he saw the light, promised his aid, and called him by his name. Born in due time, he armed him with his thunders, to break their ramparts down and gates of brass. Into his hands gave princes for a spoil, avenged his temples' pillage and destruction, and for our tears forced Babylon to pay with usury. Victorious through him, Cyrus proclaimed his praise and favored us, his people, gave us back our laws and feasts divine, and from its ruins raised the temple. But his mad son, heir of so wise a father, forbade the progress of the work begun. Deaf to our cries, God cast his stock aside, cut off the monster, put thee in his place. What hoped we not from such a noble king? God, pitying, looks on his unhappy people, we said. A king now reigns who is the friend of innocence. His mercy was extolled by all, and from the Jews loud shouts of joy were heard. What gracious heaven! Must the ear of princes the most mild be aye beset by cruelty, and goodness at its source be poisoned? From the heart of Thrace there came a savage born and bred, here to breathe forth slaughter and threats, a minister who hates thy greatest glory.
I? Canst thou believe it? I have no other end, no other God.
Be silent, till I order thee to speak.
Our cruel enemy betrays himself. Yes, it is he, that barbarous minister, who has deceived thee with a cloak of zeal, and armed thy virtue against innocence. Who but a ruthless Scythian, O my God, could have suggested such a frightful order? One simultaneous signal everywhere will fill with murders the astonished world, seeing a foreign traitor in the name of the most just of kings wasting thy realms, while in thy place, victims of his wrath, thy slaughtered subjects with their blood defile the throne. What crime does his envenomed hatred charge to the Jews? Have they awakened war within thy borders? Have they joined thy foes? Was ever thraldom's yoke more mildly borne? Adoring in their chains God's chastisement, whilst thou with heavy hand upon them laid, didst give them up defenceless to their foes. They still besought that God to guard thy life, to shatter the devices of the wicked, and o'er thy throne to spread his shadowing wings. He has been thine upholder, doubt it not. Parthian and Indian he alone subdued beneath thy feet, scattered the countless hosts of Scythia, and enclosed the seas within thy vast domains. He, to a Jew, revealed the plot two traitors hatched against thy life. Alas, I was that Jew's adopted daughter.
What? Mordecai?
He only of our house remained, my father's brother, like myself, from our first king's unhappy blood descended. Viewing with horror an Amalekite, one of a race cursed by our God himself, he could not bow the knee before this Haman, nor pay him honors that he thinks are due to thee alone. Hence, howsoe'er disguised, this hatred 'gainst the Jews and Mordecai, in vain hast thou bestowed on him thy favors. At Haman's door already is prepared the instrument of ignominious death. Within an hour this venerable man, dragged by his order from thy palace gates, wearing thy purple robe, is to be hanged.
What dreadful light bursts on my startled soul! How my blood boils with anger and with shame! I was the dupe, then. Heaven vouchsafe to make this matter clear. A moment let me have to breathe alone. Call Mordecai. I'll hear his story too.
The king retires.
Let truth from heaven appear.
Scene 5. Esther, Haman, Elizabeth, the chorus. Haman to Esther.
I am confounded with astonishment. Deceived, betrayed by the Jews' enemies. Heaven be my witness that I thought to make thy life secure, whoever else might perish. Command my influence on their behalf. The king, as thou canst see, wavers perplexed. I can restrain him, I can urge him on, and at my pleasure raise or lull the storm. Behold, me willing to befriend the Jews. Speak, and the instant slaughter of your foes, victims to ratify a solemn oath, shall make atonement for my fatal error. What blood dost thou require?
Go, traitor, leave me. The Jews want nothing from a wretch like thee. God, the avenger of the innocent, already weighs thee in the scales of justice. Soon will his righteous sentence be pronounced. Tremble, his day draws nigh. Thy reign is past.
Yea, I confess your God is to be feared. But doth he bid you keep relentless hatred? My pride is humbled. I am forced to beg for mercy. Haughty Haman kneels before thee.
He casts himself at her feet.
As thou wouldst save thy people, and dost honor thine uncle's hoary head, by these thy feet which I embrace, appease a dreadful king. Save Haman, crouching, trembling at thy knees.
Scene 6. Ahasuerus, Esther, Haman, Elizabeth the chorus, and guards.
What? Dares the traitor lay his hands on thee? In the confusion of his look I read his perfidy, confirming all thy words, and his whole course of villainy recalling. Let not this monster live a moment longer. At his own door, instead of Mordecai, both heaven and earth appeasing by his death, let him afford a feast for just revenge.
Haman is led away by the guards. Scene 7. Ahasuerus, Esther, Mordecai, Elizabeth the chorus. Ahasuerus continuing to address Mordecai.
Mortal beloved of heaven, my soul's preserver, no more am I the prey of evil counsels. Mine eyes have been unsealed, and crime confounded. Come, shine beside me in thy proper sphere. I give thee Haman's wealth and Haman's power. Justly possess what his injustice seized. I break the yoke neath which the Jews have groaned. To them I yield the blood of all their foes. Henceforth let Jews be honoured equally with Persians. All shall tremble at the name of Esther's God. Rebuild his temple, fill your wasted cities. Let your happy seed with sacred triumph celebrate this day, and in their memory live my name for aye.
Scene 8. Ahasuerus, Esther, Mordecai, Asaph, Elizabeth, the chorus.
What is it, Asaph?
He is dead, O king, half torn asunder by the people's fury. Dragged through the streets, the traitor's mangled corpse they bear, the horrid spectacle of blood.
May heaven ever guard our monarch's life. The Jews are in sore peril, and in need of instant succour.
Yes, I understand thee. Let us go countermand the bloody orders of wicked Haman.
God, thy will is wrought by ways of wisdom that pass human thought.
Scene 9. The chorus.
That innocence has triumphed, God be praised. To celebrate his power our voices raised.
He saw the wicked leagued against our life, laid bare the murderous knife, to shed our blood like water on the ground. His voice from heaven doth sound, and the proud boaster wallows in the dust, his own sharp arrows in his bosom thrust.
I saw the bold blasphemer set on high, like the tall cedar did he lift his head, whose branches far above the earth are spread. He seemed to wield the thunders of the sky. His vanquished foes beneath him did he tread. Scarce had I passed, and God had struck him dead.
I'll counsel oft the justice kings beguiles, themselves too upright to deceive, Heedless of toils the wicked weave, they fall an easy prey to subtle wiles. A noble heart is backward to believe another's malice, to his baseness blind, by its own feelings to judge all inclined.
How has the storm been hushed to peace?
Whose hand has made the tempest cease?
To
gentle Esther owe we this release.
Her heart was kindled by the love of God, ready to meet her death with dauntless breast. Her ardent zeal the path of danger trod. She dared to speak, and heaven has done the rest.
Esther has triumphed. Persia's dames retire,
to swell her charms nature and heaven conspire. What guileless graces in each glance are seen! Say, was there ever such a lovely queen?
The virtues of her heart yet more abound. Was ever queen so good and gracious crowned?
Esther has triumphed.
Persia's dames retire, to swell her charms nature and heaven conspire.
My God, O Zion, is displeased no more. Rejoice, and out of dust and ashes rise. Throw off the garments that the captive wore, and let thy former splendor greet our eyes. The ways lie open to your land again. Break every chain, tribes captive bound on foreign ground. Gather from east and west and south and north. Those seas and mountains must be passed. Go forth.
Break every chain, tribes captive bound on foreign ground. Gather from east and west and south and north. Those seas and mountains must be passed. Go forth.
Those fields beloved once more shall meet mine eye.
I'll weep where my forefathers' ashes lie.
Gather from east and west and south and north. Those seas and mountains must be passed. Go forth.
Once more the stately porches raise of God's own temple, where he heareth prayer. To deck his altar purest gold prepare. Out of the mountains hew ye marbles rare. Dark Lebanon let fall thine ancient cedars tall. Make ready, holy priests, to sing his praise.
To dwell with us again doth God descend. Tremble thou earth with gladness and with fear, his holiness and glory to revere. Ye heavens in lowliest adoration bend.
How good is Israel's God! His yoke how sweet! Bless those who in their youth that sweetness know. Ye children, run that gracious Lord to meet. No earthly pleasure can for charm compete. What heartfelt joys that from his presence flow! How good is Israel's God! His yoke how sweet! Bless those who in their youth that sweetness know.
Ready to pardon and forego his wrath of thankless souls that wander from his path. He waiteth the return. He can excuse our weak and wayward wills. To seek us he doth yearn. Less tenderness for her own offspring fills a mother's heart. Ah, who can share the love we owe to God above?
We in his might alone have victory won.
His glory shineth on us like the sun.
Ah, who can share the love we owe to God above?
Blessed be his holy name, his name adore. His mighty acts enforce, till time has run its course. Praise him forever and forevermore.
End of Act 3. End of Esther by Jean Racine, translated by Robert Bruce Boswell.